Possibly game 4. Look, you have to clean this up. Look, we talking about people saying we don't know if he did it intentionally. He fouled him on purpose, and he did it with intentions. Okay, let's get that out the way. Here's the thing that we have to.
You hear? We don't know that. We don't know that.
I mean, looking at the play,
you can't look at a person. But you're making an assumption.
Yes, you can.
You can't.
Bro, why do they let these broads on television? Why can't men just have our space without having to have this overly emotional into the conversation? Why can't we just have expert men who've played the game talk about the game? Why do we have to have this person who hasn't played the game, has never been in the NBA, has never probably even dribbled a basketball before? Why does she even need to be included in the conversation? Why? This broad should be somewhere making somebody a fucking omelet right now.
Yo, what's the word, Scotty?
She should be making an omelet, cracking open a beer, and giving a blowjob. But instead, she's on TV talking about she has no idea about.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Trip It Ain't Easy. I am your host, Trip Simpson, in the building, ready to get this grill going today. But first, let's get down to business.
I know you're gonna look after family.
What family you talking about, Ice?
Fuck, I look invisible, nigga.
That's right, I am not invisible, so do me a favor, hit that like button. Also, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to press the notification bell and select all. Now, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, let's get into tonight's topic. Now, if you have been hiding under a rock, which I know that you haven't, you know that the hottest topic going on right now is the Celtics head coach, Ime Udoka. Ime Udoka recently came out that Ime Udoka was sleeping with a staff member in the Celtics organization. With him being the head coach, of course, he must have violated something in his contract, and therefore he was suspended for the year. Now, what's interesting is that not only was he sleeping with a staff member, but it is alleged that this staff member is the wife of the senior vice president of the team, Big L. And this has stirred up a whole lot of controversy. And in my opinion, I think that he got what he paid for. I mean, when you shit where you eat, you know what I mean? It's never going to be good. Coupled to the fact that he is also engaged to Nia Long, which, it's been a 9-year engagement, but nonetheless, he's engaged to Nia Long. So this has stirred up a whole lot of drama. Now, not only has this stirred up a whole lot of drama as far as just the him and Nia Long situation, but it stirred up a whole lot of drama at ESPN. And quite frankly, I'm actually shocked and a little proud of Stephen A. Smith. Now, many of you know, if you watch the show over the years, I'm not a huge fan of Stephen A. Smith at all. I think he's one of the sleaziest guys in the game, and up until this point, it seems that he would sell his soul just to please the powers that be. So I'm actually a little proud of Stephen A. Smith for standing up for himself as a man in this conversation with his co-worker, Malika Andrews. Now, Malika Andrews is a bit of a shit stirrer. But before we get into all that, in my opinion on her, let's get into tonight's first video, which is the video of a conversation that Stephen A. Smith was having about the Ime Udoka situation, and Malika Andrews called into his show to give her opinion. So, without wasting any more time, let's roll the video tape.
Stephen A., with all due respect, this is not about pointing the finger. Stop. What became apparent to me in this press conference is that we do not have all of the information here, and it was frustrating to me that the Celtics declined to elaborate or...
Do you hear the tone of her voice? Just listen to the tone of her voice. First of all, if I'm Stephen A. Smith, I'm stopping this motherfucker. And I'm like, yo, who the fuck are you talking to? That's me. That's how I'm going off the break. But anyway, let's continue.
To give more specifics about what exactly the rule breaking was that led us to this point. So that, I just want to get that out of the way first. But to answer your question, Molly, I think what stood out to me, I think what stood out to me is that Brad Stevens, he was upset. That's what stood out to me about what he termed rampant Twitter BS is the word that he used, that women were unfairly dragged into this within the Celtics organization. You could see that Brad Stevens was visibly upset about this. And I also found that to be gross and unnecessary, that folks were bringing in the names and the images of women that...
Fair use.
Is just not a fact. That was purely speculation. And so to me, that is what stood out. But the Celtics as an organization could have done more, and short of doing more ahead of this yesterday, they could have owned that responsibility in this press conference. I understand that there were legal parameters that they had to operate within for everybody involved, and I appreciate the fact that they brought in outside counsel and did a thorough organization. And I think that that is something that was clearly necessary in this situation. But the fact that it was able to go on all day, the fact that we are sitting here debating whether somebody else should have been suspended or not.
See, and goddamn, she's long-winded. This is what bothers me about a lot of these German shepherds. Shout out to Minister Jab. They put together these long word salads when they just could have been plain and simple with what they're getting at. And I think this is what fools a lot of people into thinking that these women are actually have something valid to say. Yeah, they went to college and they learned a bunch of freaking words, but what are they actually saying when you equate what these words actually mean in terms of this conversation?
We are not here, Stephen A., to further blame women.
Here we go. Now she's talking about further blame women. Keep in mind, this coach participated in consensual sex with a married woman. Consensual sex.
That is not why we are here.
First of all. So what are we here for then? So we're just here to blame a man? See, what she seems to forget, and what a lot of women forget in these situations, is that this woman wasn't raped, meaning she gave him the vajayjay. She gave it to him. He didn't take it from her. And 9 times out of 10, she probably came at him first, because that's normally how this thing goes.
First of all, let me be very clear. I don't appreciate where you're going with that.
Uh-oh, look. My man getting serious, man. Somebody gave this nigga some courage, man. And I'm proud of him. Let's continue.
I'm not blaming anybody but Ime Udoka. He deserves The fact of the matter is, I've said he deserved to be fired if they were going to fire him. If you're not going to fire him, then don't fire him. My issue is all of this being publicized. The point that I'm trying to make is just like you're not mentioning. Excuse me. I listened to you. You're the one telling me to stop on my show. It ain't happening. Okay, that's number one.
Let's go! Stephen A. Smith. He's not playing with him. Let's go! Let's go, Stephen A. I'm with you.
Number two, I've already said he deserves to be fired, or he deserves to be there and handle it internally and privately. If you're not going to handle it privately, if you're going to publicize it in that fashion, then obviously it provokes everybody wanting to know, okay, well, who are the parties involved? When you have Ime Smith in Boston and other women pointing out the fact that there were women who were wrongly implicated in all of this, it's a disservice to them. I didn't come out with the report about a consensual relationship. I didn't come out with the report ahead of time leaking that they were going to suspend him for the year. They did that. And my point is, considering how pervasive this kind of stuff has existed in professional sports for many years, my whole point is that, make sure that you handle it in the same fashion it has always been handled. You could have fired him, and then we could have speculated till the cows come home, but he's gone. But to keep him there, keep him employed, but in the same breath, suspend him for a year, then also that year is indefinite. That is the issue that I have. Nobody's trying to protect Ime Udoka, and certainly nobody is trying to protect, is to excoriate the women involved or anything like that. I'm talking about how things of this matter are usually handled from an HR perspective, from an organizational perspective. That is not consistent with what we have seen throughout the years.
Yo, real quick, I don't know if somebody lit a fire under this nigga's ass, or maybe he got a scandal getting ready to come out. He might be banging some bitches up at ESPN and something. Something has gotten into Stephen A. Smith that has turned him back into a man. I don't know how long this is gonna last. But right now, this is a good thing. Let's let Stephen A. continue.
That is the only point that I was trying to make. I'm not trying to attack anybody. And if anybody deserves to be attacked, it's Ime Udoka for putting himself in this position.
Facts. I don't think Ime Udoka should be let off the hook. When you're making that type of money and you're at that type of role and you have that type of position, you can't afford to be doing shit like this. Bro, you're a millionaire, bro. Go to Miami, go to Colombia, go to Dubai. Hell, go to fucking Philly. Anywhere but the office that you work at. And let's just say, okay, boom, you did bang somebody in the office, right? You did bang somebody that works in the organization. Why would you bang the one chick in the organization who's married to one of your bosses? Why would you do that? Now, I'm not sure, but I think they confirmed that this woman, I think her last name is Lynch, Kathleen Lynch, she's married to the senior vice president of the team. Married to him. Big L.
I've made that very clear. I'm just talking about you got owners and everybody else. They know the kind of stuff that's going on. You didn't say anything about anybody else. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about them. They didn't say anything about everybody else all the other times this stuff has happened. But now when it comes to him, it's all over the place. That is my issue. That is my only issue.
I appreciate that clarification. And I think that getting back to Molly's initial question, that is what stood out to me from the press conference. My reaction to the press conference, and I appreciate you clarifying that, Stephen A., is that the only thing...
And nobody give a fuck about what you appreciate. Oh my God. See, this man, look.
That was made clear to me in this is that we are missing a key piece of information here. That is my reaction to the press.
Look at the deflection, right? from everything Stephen A. Smith just said, look at how she deflects it all. She gives him partial credit, doesn't even apologize for being wrong. She just deflects. Now she makes a different straw man argument out of no fucking where. Now the argument is just there's very key exponential pieces missing. That's not what we're talking about here. You accused Stephen A. Smith of something he didn't do. He put you in your place, and you don't even have the tact to apologize for your mistake. But no, this is what they do. They take their narrative and they spin it any and every which way they can with word salads to try to validate themselves. But at the end of the day, it's not valid. Now, Stephen A. wasn't the only person at ESPN who Miss Andrews got into it with. She also got into it with Kendrick Perkins. Kendrick Perkins is another guy who has seemed to emerge from the shadows and become an alpha male on a temporary basis. Once again, he wasn't having it, and it even got to the point where he broke her shit down so bad that she cut him off. But let's not waste any more time with that. Let's get to it.
Well, one thing, Zach, that you touched on was just this gross focus on identifying unnecessary.
The whole time, she's not a bad-looking chick. She's not a bad-looking chick. She's just a German Shepherd, though. Steer clear of these, man. Hit them and quit them. Definitely use protection. Don't want to get a German Shepherd pregnant.
Necessarily women's names that may or may not be involved, and I think it is it isn't too harsh to say that was a failure by many people, including folks within our own industry. And Brad Stevens actually addressed that today. I want everyone to take a listen.
We have a lot of talented women in our organization, and
fair use.
I thought yesterday was really hard on them, and I think that nobody can control Twitter speculation.
Is he getting ready to cry? He looked like he about to cry, man. Let's give him the Green Ranger. That's the Green Ranger Captain Saber host Simp sound. Y'all remember what Power Rangers like? anytime the Power Rangers are in trouble, the Green Ranger would go and blow his flute, and then the fucking dragon robot would come out the water and kick everybody's ass. That's these niggas. Even though I don't know how much ass they kissing, but they definitely coming to save the day. One more time.
Rampant, but I do think that we as an organization have a responsibility to make sure we're there to support them now.
No shit.
Because a lot of people were dragged unfairly into that.
I want to bring in our NBA analyst Kendrick Perkins into this conversation because
granted, people, Kendrick Perkins was a staple in the Celtics organization for years. So if anybody knows what's going on behind the scenes, it's him. Let's continue.
You played for the Celtics organization. What were your thoughts on this message here?
And watch how he switches up on him. He's going to tell the truth. And this broad, Malika Andrews, can't handle it. Watch her face when this shit goes down.
Well, one, to me, I didn't like Brad comments on this, and let me explain why. Not the fact that he was taking up and protecting the women in the organization, but he said about the speculations and the Twitter BS and things to that nature, and how unfair it was to the women in the organization that is not involved with this particular situation. And I get that, right? But why is it speculations? It's speculations because of the reports that were put out by the actual Boston Celtics. So they didn't do a great job from the jump of actually protecting the women in their organization, because knowing that they were going to sit up here and give out this information and go out here and suspend Ime Udoka and talk about, just give a little details, is going to have people speculating. And in my eyes, I feel like the Boston Celtics dropped the ball not only in protecting their entire franchise, but in protecting the women as well. They should have made sure that they crossed their T's and dotted their I's before they put this information out. And I get it. Now we're to this point, and now he had to go on here and he had to say this and he had to say that to protect those innocent women.
Facts. If they would have done their job in the first place, this wouldn't even have been an issue. Kendrick Perkins is 100% correct.
But at the end of the day, man, it just ain't right how they went about it. The word accountability, okay? Accountability doesn't just go to Ime Udoka, okay? Accountability goes to the other people that played a part in that as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, the word for the day. No. The word for the, no. Not even the week. The word for the next 100 years and for the past 50 years, especially when it comes to women being involved in a scandal, is accountability. Accountability, bro. Let's go back one more time. Let's go back one more time, Mr. Perkins. Let's go.
Accountability goes to the other people that played a part in that as well. Let me tell you another thing I didn't like about my good friend Wick Grossbeck and Brad Stevens in this press conference when they asked, is anybody else going to be punished? And they said no. And my whole thing is this, right? These are some of the facts that have been out. These are some facts that I know that, you know, this relationship, one of these relationships that was had with Ime Udoka and one of these women, it was consensual.
Accountability. Accountability. And watch this hoe's reaction to it. Watch how mad she gets, dog. Once you mention that accountability, they get heated.
This woman actually played a part in it too. So my thing is, yes, Ime Udoka was wrong. We get that. His punishment, he deserves that, and whatever else follows, I hate it for him, but he put himself in this position. But why?
Look at her face, dog. Look at her face. She can't take it. As soon as you mention the word accountability to these new hoes, they lose it. Look at the disgust in her face. Look at her. They about to let the dog right off the leash. Come on, let's go.
Why are the other people getting left off the hook?
Well,
that's the problem that I have right now.
Kendrick.
Everybody got to be held accountable.
He better than me. I be like, yo, who you calling? Call me Mr. Perkins. Kendrick. Bitch, I don't know you.
I think that we need to circle back to what Shanae said, is that there was an investigation that was conducted by an independent law firm here, and without, I think that...
What does that have to do anything? The reports have already come out. It was a consensual relationship. What investigation? All this investigation shit you're talking about means nothing. Independent law firm, these nuts. The facts have come out. He was in a consensual relationship with a married woman. Period. The married woman definitely, as a matter of fact, she deserves more of she needs to be held more accountable than the man do, because she was in a committed relationship. The coach ain't married. He done had Nia Long on ice for 12 years. He ain't married. And Nia Long probably been knew what he was out here doing. Hell, what's she gonna do about it? She 51 years old. She happy to be in the fucking game. Come on, man.
Transparency is what will rule the day here. And so without having all...
The transparency is already out here. More word salads saying nothing.
All of the information, it is unfair and irresponsible of us to go and to speculate on that, because what we have to...
Well, I'm not speculating. Sure. I have the information. I'm not speculating.
But what we have to go with here is the fact that an independent law firm came in, did this investigation.
No, we don't have to do anything that you say. This is what you saying we have to do. What we have to do is look at the facts that are out. And the facts that are out say it was consensual sex. See, these hoes are trying to turn this into something that it's not. They're trying to build this fake ass sexual harassment, sexual misconduct types of vibes on Coach Udoka when they're not there. Did he do some greaseball shit? Yes, he did. Should he have been sleeping with a staffer, especially one that's married to the senior vice president of the Celtics? No, he shouldn't. No, he should not have. And he deserves his suspension. But you got women like this, and like I said, shout out to Minister Jack, German shepherds, the attack dogs for white feminists who want to take down prominent men, most specifically prominent black men. This is who they use for it. This is who they use for it.
Investigation and the facts that they were presented, they came to the conclusion that Ime Udoka violated a policy that warranted a 1-year suspension.
Okay, like I said, she's putting together word salads. Anybody, you don't need a law firm to determine that he violated the policy. If you're not supposed to sleep with the staffers, you're not supposed to sleep with the staffers. But at the same time, that staffer also works within the organization, and she shouldn't be sleeping with staffers either. So why isn't she being punished? See, this is what this broad fails to mention. That's why I've given up trying to talk to all these feminists and trying to mend the relationship between black men and black women. Bro, if you can't find a woman that's going to cooperate, then just move on. Don't even deal with her. Don't even waste your time trying to reason with one of these chicks. Hit them and quit them, and make sure you strap up. Strap up, hit them, quit them, roll out.
And I share your frustration with the lack of transparency while understanding that there is some things that they need to, from a legal perspective, keep private. But knowing all of that, understanding all of that, we have to come to the conclusion that whatever rule, the conduct that was broken on one side, it is not the same on the other side.
Wow, did you just hear that? Did you just hear that? Let's rewind that.
That was broken on one side, it is not the same on the other side. I thank you for your perspective.
You used me, Skinner! You used me!
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. They don't even hide their bias no more. Whatever was done on one side is not the same as the other. How is that? How is it that both parties participate in consensual sex, but the man is the man's fault and not the woman's? When he didn't rape her, he had to get permission with her to have sex with her. So once again, you see the complete waste of time it is to argue with these feminist women. They take their narrative and they run with it. You can combat them with logical responses. You can present them with facts. You can present them with video, recorded pictures, whatever. They'll find a way to make a word salad to skate themselves out of it, make a straw man argument, and put the blame back on the man out of nowhere. This is what they do. As a matter of fact, before we get to the next topic, I just want to show you guys one more example of this chick, Malika Andrews, and how ridiculous she is. So here's a clip of Malika Andrews basically getting into it with 3 other NBA players on the panel, trying to tell them how the game goes. And just look at her. Look at her arrogance, and look at the vitriol she has for the knowledge and perspective that these black men have to bring.
Let's get started.
I think that Dylan Brooks should be suspended for game 3 and possibly game 4. Look, you have to clean this up. Look, we talking about people saying we don't know if he did it intentionally. He fouled him on purpose and he did it with intentions. Okay, let's get that out the way. Here's the thing that we have to.
You hear? We don't know that. We don't know that.
I mean, looking at the play,
you can't look at a person. Yeah, but you're making an assumption.
Yes, you can.
You can't.
Bro, why do they let these broads on television? Why can't men just have our space without having to have this overly emotional bullshit into the conversation? Why can't we just have expert men who've played the game talk about the game? Why do we have to have this person who hasn't played the game, has never been in the NBA, has never probably even dribbled a basketball before? Why does she even need to be included in the conversation? Why? This broad should be somewhere fucking making somebody a fucking omelet right now. Yo, what's the word, Scotty? She should be making an omelet, cracking open a beer, and giving a blowjob. But instead, she's on TV talking about some shit she has no idea about. This is grown man shit she's weighing in on. She has no idea about it.
Look at a person and know what their intent was. It was a dangerous play regardless, but you can't. Okay. I didn't realize we had a bunch of mind readers on the panel.
Look, I didn't realize we had a bunch of She don't even, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 men on the screen. Look at the white dude. He ain't touching it. He ain't touching it. He's like, nope, I'm keeping my job. You got 1, 2, 3 former professional NBA players all saying the same thing. And you got this broad who never has dribbled a ball on an NBA court before, trying to talk over them and tell them what she sees.
Please continue.
Perk, how old were you when you dunked the ball for the first time?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Here's when he humbled her.
21.
12.
12. How old were you when you dunked the ball for the first time?
12.
13.
I was about 13 years old when I dunked the ball for the first time.
Come on now. How old were you when you dunked the ball, bitch? No answer.
I know what a fast break looks like. I have 4 months out in a season because I had my wrist taken out on a dunk. I know not necessarily the intent to hurt, but I know the intent to
These niggas are tired of it. Like, shut up.
Foul extremely hard, and that's the
fair.
repercussions.
Okay. So there you go, man. That's just an example of like what men have to put up with these days. These guys, you have these women on ESPN and all these shows arguing with men who've actually been on the field, warriors who've actually been to war, and she has something to say like she's actually done it. You don't get to have an opinion on something that you've never done, or something that you haven't been invested in your whole life. Now, granted, it's a bunch of men every day that haven't been in the NBA who comment and argue about sports, but most of these men have at least played a full court game of basketball where shit's got intense. Most of them. So most men have some type of idea about what it takes to be in the NBA and who should be qualified to talk about it and who should not be. I'm here to tell you that unless your name is Lisa Leslie or one of these other chicks that's been in the WNBA for you, and really they can't even talk. But I would at least hear them out because they played the game at a level that actually means something. But to have someone with a damn college degree who didn't play no sports, who probably, I ain't gonna say that. I'll just say she used creative measures to get where she at today, to come and talk to me like that, like she knows what's going on. Nah, man. And this is what has to stop.